What is the role of the amygdala in this process of talking about fear and anxiety? Really, what its job is, it's like a monitor. It's constantly watching. Even now, your amygdala is watching. And if there was a loud noise behind you, it would have you probably jump up and turn around and look, right? So one of the things it's constantly monitoring, listening, watching, with all that information coming in from the thalamus, from all your senses. And what it does is produce something we call a defense response. It's also sometimes called the fight or flight response, and we'll talk more about that. But that's part of its job, to produce this defense response. It also can make certain memories where it attaches an emotional kind of tag to something, so that maybe you're like, I don't know why I'm afraid of clowns. It's your amygdala. Your amygdala sometime in your life attached an emotional significance to clowns, made them seem scary. It's kind of like the way I think about, let's say there's a place in your brain where clowns are stored, a little memory. The amygdala, if it's going to make a memory, it's like putting a little Post-it note that says scary or fear or danger or something like that on that clown memory of clowns get associated with an emotion. Now, things can get associated with positive things like chocolate chip cookies. There's a big yummy. My amygdala has connected. And if I smell chocolate chip cookies, I'm going to move toward them. That's me. That's my personal experience, Now, one of the things then we call the amygdala the relevance detector. It's kind of trying to identify things that are important, relevant in your life, positive or negative things, and then code them as positive or negative. And your memories get encoded in the neural circuitry all over your brain, not in the amygdala. The amygdala is what gets that memory to form, but the memory's formed all over in your brain, different places. Today, we're focusing on how the amygdala focuses on fear memories or danger memories, those kind of memories, and produces anxiety memories. Now, remember, right now, I'm not talking about like a story. It's not like the amygdala stores the story. Your cortex has to store those stories of, I was around a clown and this clown threw me up in the air playing with me, thinking he was funny, and it terrified me. Or maybe he dropped me and I broke my leg, and ever since then I've been afraid of clowns. That's the cortex memory. All the amygdala memory is an emotion. You see a clown, the amygdala says, remember this emotion, just attaches the emotion to it. So remember that the amygdala is what creates fear and anxiety. Even if I said the cortex pathway can create anxiety, but it's still the amygdala that's creating the anxiety or the fear. Your cortex can't create panic or can't initiate the fight or flight response, or can't do that. And the amygdala is so, and I tell some of this to my clients, but I won't go into the detail I do with you. I go into detail with you so that you can decide how much you want to explain. But what the amygdala is very close to all these different parts in the brain, like the hypothalamus. And it can really help initiate a response from the sympathetic nervous system. It's also very close to the brainstem, and it can affect muscle movement very quickly because of where it is, down in the center of the brain, close to all these other parts that really can make things happen. And it can affect your heart rate and your breathing. So if you understand that when you have a catch in your breath suddenly, that the amygdala did it, or your heart starts pounding, your amygdala did it, then it helps you to have clients reduce some of their catastrophic thinking, that they might think, my heart's pounding, it means I'm going to have a heart attack. No, your heart's actually really healthy, or it wouldn't be pounding. Heart attack is your heart stops, not your heart is pounding strongly. That is a good thing, right? So helping clients reframe their symptoms, even that feeling of dread, that suddenly you think about riding in a car and you get this feeling of dread. You could say, that's my amygdala reminding me that I had a bad thing happen in a car once and I'm feeling it, but it doesn't predict that I'm going to get in an accident today. But it is a real feeling, right? But it helps them reframe their symptoms. And that's why we want them to tell us about their symptoms so we can connect them to the amygdala. And also it helps them have realistic expectations about being able to control their emotional and physical reaction. Where the person says, how come, like Melinda might say, how come I still feel scared if there's nothing scary in the basement? And you'd say, well, once your amygdala turns on that increased heart rate and releases adrenaline in your body, it doesn't go away soon. So you're still feeling it. It'll go away in a little while. Let's just wait till it goes away. You'll see, watch, it's going to go away. Let's just sit down and watch a couple cartoons. And then she could say, oh yeah, it did go away. All right, so see, now we can go in the basement. But I want you to know that that doesn't predict a bad thing's going to happen. It's actually the fight or flight response that's happening. See, now understanding this fight or flight response, and actually technically it's the fight, flight, or freeze response is really what it is. The fight, flight, or freeze response. And that is meaning that there's really three things that the amygdala can do. It can help you have the muscle tension and the energy in your muscles to fight. It can help you run away, also about having energy and in your muscles and tension in your muscles, but it can also make you freeze where you're just kind of locked up and you don't know what to do. And that freeze response is sometimes very useful. Well, to the rabbits in my backyard, when my dog comes out and they just freeze and my dog doesn't see them because he's out there to take a leak. He's not looking for rabbits. And as long as that rabbit stays really still and doesn't move, often he doesn't see the rabbit. It's the movement or maybe the smell. But if he's sniffing around trying to find, where's the last place? I say he's checking his P mail. And where's the last place I went? I'm going to go over. Okay, here I went here. I'm going to go here again or whatever. He's focusing on that smell, not the rabbit. As that freeze response can be very helpful to rabbits, and it can help us too.